Hello. Okay. So previously I have mentioned wanting to make a favorites video because I think they're so fun and to like watch and stuff. So I wanted to make one. Um, I'm I just grabbed I'm a little out of breath because I was frantically gathering the things to show you and then couldn't find some, but really didn't try that hard because I was like, this is enough. Okay, so I have things, but I'm just gonna go for it. Um, so a book I read this summer in a book club is oh no, did not plan out properly. The Meaning of Mary Magdalene, Discovering the Woman at the Heart of Christianity. Love Mary, so this was fun to read. It was fun to read in a group. I don't necessarily have like a historical connection, like a personal one to Christianity specifically. But this was great. I wrote some stuff down about I'll just leave it there for a sec and see if I can I wrote this down in like July, so let's see if we can make any meaning of it now in mid-September. Relationship as spiritual path. That sounds cool. I am one with the source insofar as I too act as a source by making everything I have received flow again. Oh yeah. Okay. I am one with the source insofar as I too act as a source by making everything I have received flow again. Amazing. Okay. More books. Another book that I wrote down that I really enjoyed, I remember earlier in the summer, was Making Friends with Death. And I guess I wrote down that I'd recommend this if you have an interest in Buddhism, death, or know anyone that might die someday, or you yourself might die. That was it was like a chill read. And I'll talk about a lot of like death specific things in the future. I don't necessarily want to say more now. Why do I always do that? Anyway, another book that I reread this summer in a book club that I attempted to have, but I was having it with some I was trying to do it with some agoraphobic people, and people with agoraphobia it's hard for us to commit to things. So I get it, but this was really fun to reread. It's more dense. Like, it looks sort of like this like corporate art, like cheesy, but it's really good, and she's really cool. And I had a lot of fun reading it again, and I made like tarot spreads and stuff like that for the group. It was fun to do. Oh no, I forgot I was gonna mention a friend's zine, a friend's like poetry chapbook that they made, but I think it's downstairs. I forgot it. I'll mention it a different time. I really enjoyed it. Another zine that I got this summer is this zine. It's about like, so it's a collection of like poems and like pictures and stuff like that, and it's about people with like chronic illness and their relationships to their bed, and it's really cool. I really liked it. Another book that I really loved is this one, Beautiful Necessity, The Art and Meaning of Women's Altars. It's sort of 90s, 1999, like, so like 90s feminist vibes in terms of like the focus and the language and stuff like that, which it's fine. I like that. But I thought it was going to be like pretty pictures, which there are lots of cool pictures. Let me try to find one. Oh, it came with this picture of this tree because I got it used, and I thought that was just beautiful. I love that. So yeah, there are photos. And they're amazing. But there's like a lot of goodness, words, information as well. So a book I read recently this as summer was ending is Plants of the Devil, Corinne Boyer, as I guess how you say it. This book was super cool. I'm into like poisonous plants in general, but I want to make a video about poisonous plants. I'll do that, and we'll talk about it more then, because this is going to be long if I go into like every little thing. And then I'm, you all know, the Ecstatic Experience, healing postures. And on that note, I suppose I can frantically look about for the other stuff I'm looking for. Oh my goodness. So a deck that I really have loved this summer is the Ritual Postures, Ancient Ritual Postures by Belinda Gore. But you already knew that because I made a whole video about it that you should totally watch, because I really want to know what everyone else has to say about ritual postures. Let me see if there's anything I wrote down here. Okay. No. Oh, so the things I try to include here, these are my button jars. And so what I do is when I'm doing a specific meditation for a certain count, so one button will equal 108 beads around the mala, I will put it in here. And so it's like, and then so these signify how many of the meditation I need to do. And then this is completed. Because I was using like an app to count, and I was like forgetting to like fill it in, And this like tactile experience, who doesn't love this? You know what I mean? So I started doing that this summer, and I really like it. Very into it. Oh, more decks. Right. In the bed box video, I mentioned this deck in the end. Also recommend that video. This is the Calica Tarot, and it's like Mexican folk art. And I got it from a Kickstarter this summer. Like, it ended this summer and it came right away. Super cool. But it's just RWS, but with this cool skeleton. Mexican folk art. I'm very into it. Another deck that I really enjoyed using this summer is the Tarot of the Femme Erotiques. I'm not gonna try to say. And nudity alert. But we know what this one looks like, I guess. Maybe. But yeah, I love this. I love decks like this, like the old-timey photographs. Let's see, what else for decks? The Spolia Tarot I got this summer. Which I was really excited about because I didn't think it was possible or would ever happen. But I actually found it online for like $20, and I was like sweating, and I was like, is this really happening? But I love it. I also love that I got it like, used and at a very good price, because it's like, I feel like sometimes I can be really precious with things because they cost money. Another tarot deck that I absolutely adored this summer is the Mountain Dream Tarot. More old-timey photos. Different time. Still old-timey. But yeah, I love this. Look at it. It's so good. I think this is the first photo manipulated deck. And then there's the Tarot Par Polka. Ooh, yikes, don't know. I love this deck. I feel like this one everyone's probably bringing out now to use for like spooky season stuff or the fall, but I don't like the summer really. Like, I do at the beginning of the summer, I'm like, yes, it's here, freedom, the sun. heal me. But then by the end of the summer, I'm like, oh my God, everyone please go back inside. I don't want to see anyone. Because in the winter, I like to, I've always, interesting. I've always enjoyed it's so good. I don't know, I like to, in the past, I've always enjoyed walking around, especially in the winter because no one's around. But this really embodies my like late summer feelings. I just love this deck so much. There's the backs. So cool. Last but not least. Oh wait. Well, that's like a separate thing, I'll say. Last but not least, wow, just let me drop it everywhere. Slippery, is the plastic Rider-Waite, because maybe I mentioned it in a different video, but my hands are quite sweaty. You can probably see them glisten. I've actually made videos, you guys, and like in the middle of them, my hands are drip sweating, and so I have to stop doing it because it's a thing. It's like an issue. I'm just a sweaty gal. Anyway, so the plastic one saves my life when I want to be doing, just getting them all together here. I originally got it because Mistress Ray mentioned having it to do tarot in the bath, and I was like, that's genius. Like, I love baths and I love tarot. Like, yes, please, let's do it. But I ended up just using it like all of the time because there were times when it felt like a violation or some sort of like bad thing to be doing to like touch paper, you know? Anyway, I actually wanted to mention another book. So those were all nonfiction, I guess. I typically read nonfiction books because that's just where my mind's at right now. I used to read a lot of fiction. When I was younger, I was really into books, literature. I still am, but I read more fiction now. I think it's like an emotional thing. Like, it's harder for me to focus and to connect. Like, I like to read fantasy because it's a way to get away, and I never read stuff like that when I was younger. And I don't know, you know, it just feels like there's like a thing missing or I can't connect to certain emotional aspects of things that are like real life sometimes right now for the last few years. But I did manage to read Fat City by Leonard Gardner. I read it on Kindle, so I can't like show you the book, but I do want to say some things about it. I guess I have the Goodreads like info up because I'm not I don't know, I'm not like a book review channel. Like, I can't tell you. The reason that I read it is because my boyfriend was trying to get me to read it for a really long time. It's set in Stockton, California, which is where I was born and where a lot of my family still lives. And that's one of the reasons that I fell in love with Joan Didion too. And there's actually I'll read just like a little bit what it says about Fat City. Fat City is a novel about the indestructibility of a hope, the anguish, and the comedy of the human condition. It tells the story of two young boxers out of Stockton, California, blah, blah, blah. It's a novel about the sporting life like no other ever written, without melodrama or false heroics, written with a truthfulness that is at once painful and beautiful. I'm reading these because I wanted to read the Joan Didion one, because one of the reasons that I loved Joan Didion, I don't know if I said this in my other video, but when I mentioned the altar books that I have, Slouching Towards Bethlehem by Joan Didion, always on my altar. When I was like 19, we'll say I was 21 because I was drinking alcohol, but I was drinking gin and tonics in my bed and reading Joan Didion, and I was reading all these stories about the place that I, was born and didn't grow up in and didn't know, like that part of California, the San Joaquin Valley. And I like called up my dad and was like, I want to visit. And so I took the train out there a few times that spring, and I don't know, I just had the best time. And I'm like so grateful to Joan Didion for like being there and sparking that like desire and interest. Like some of those short like essays that she'll write will just be about the levees. And like these things that like it's just like, what? Like, okay, why are you talking about water like this? And then when you're there, like my dad worked on the levees and stuff. So like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it's making me emotional just thinking about it. But anyway, what she has to say about Fat City is, Leonard Gardner's Fat City affected me more than any new fiction I've read in a long while. And I do not think it affected me only because I come from Fat City or somewhere near it. He just got it exactly right. The hanging around gas stations, the field dust, the relentless oppressiveness of the weather, the bleak liaisons sealed on the levees and the Greyhound buses. And he has done more than just get it down. He has made it a metaphor for the joyless in heart. Oh, so yes! Like, who doesn't want to read that? So I really... my boyfriend was right. He was like, when I read it, he was like, finally. And then it was fun because we sort of went through, I had like, you know, on the Kindle you can highlight, on maybe any e-reader, you can highlight parts that you really like, which you can do in any book, I guess. But we sort of went through it because it's a short book when I was done, and I was like, when we discussed certain parts that I, you know, really stuck out to me, and it just hadn't done something like that in a really long time. It was something I enjoyed about the summer. Okay. So I talked about decks and books. There's another deck that I'll talk about. But I want to talk about some other things. So I feel sort of silly, like, talking about this. Okay. So one of the things I also really enjoyed this summer is the sound of full notebook pages turning. I just like, I hope you can hear that right. It's so good. And it's not the same as like plain ones. Like, it's just not there, you know? Okay, and then another favorite of the summer is the movie Stigmata. So this is, it was my favorite movie when I was a child. Which I think says so much. My favorite movies when I was a kid were Stigmata and like Sister Act 1. Or, you know, maybe it was Sister Act 2, but now I prefer Sister Act 1. But yeah, I was obsessed with Stigmata when I was a kid. I was so into it. And so I rewatched it this summer with the person I live with, and because he had never seen it. And it holds up. Like, it's so good. Like, Gabriel Byrne is like the original hot priest. and Patricia Arquette's like makeup and like her fashion, oh, it's so good. And also, like, I don't know if you've seen that movie, but at the end of the movie, I remember being a kid and being like, yeah, that's what I've been saying. Anyway, I just love the movie, and I watched it several times this summer, and I've just really enjoyed, like, revisiting that. So I guess maybe my favorite and the thing I'm grateful for is, like, revisiting childhood favorites or something. What else? Okay, I was obsessed with wild blueberries this summer, like frozen ones. Anyone who Zoomed with me knows that, because there was not a Zoom meeting that I was in which my mouth wasn't stained from me eating like a bowl of wild blueberries, either right before or in the meeting. I just couldn't get enough of them. It's still true, but I've cooled down a bit. Because I didn't know. Okay, fun fact. I didn't know. They're so tiny. I wish I like had them here. Maybe I'll like insert a photo. They're so tiny, and blueberries I feel like blueberries when I was little, they were smaller, and now they're huge, and they're just really, they're kind of like mealy and like weird. And I was talking to some friends who live in Europe in a Zoom meeting when I was eating blueberries, and they were like, yeah, we just call them blueberries, and then the big ones we call American blueberries. And I was like, I thought it was interesting. Okay, so one of my most favorite things, maybe definitely of the summer, but like ever. So sometimes what I like to do with friends is we'll sit and we'll just watch YouTube videos of music videos on YouTube, and we'll just go through like, have you heard this song? And so that's usually how I like find a new song that I become obsessed with. And I I'm obsessed with the song I Alone by Live. Like Ed Kowalczyk's the lead vocals, like the music video, you guys, his braided rat tail. Oh my god, that music video, the drummer, he's not drumming, he doesn't know what he's doing. It's the emotion. I was watching this and I was like, I love men. It was just like, it was so weird. And I've listened to it and watched it so often that when I just hear the song, I can like picture the whole music video. It's so cool. And I'll like insert clips if I can figure out how to do all of that. But it's, oh my god, it's incredible. I was listening to it so often that like I was listening to it with headphones in the house because I didn't want the person I live with to know that I was listening to it again. And I had to be careful because I didn't want to like make him like annoyed with it, you know? I also, when I was like video whatevering with my therapist, I had him screen share it so we could watch it together, you know, for joy and for fun. I love it. I love it so much. That braided rat tail, those eyes, the emotion. You just can't get it anymore. I don't know. Am I old? Okay. So on that note, more music things that the person I live with, he was making fun of me because I was like listening to Spotify and like I was like, oh my god, I love this song. And then the next song I was like, oh, I love this song too. And we were listening to a playlist that I made called The Only Songs I Want to Hear, like summer 2021. And he was like, yeah, you love them because it's your playlist. But so obviously I Alone is on there. The other song that I've been obsessed with, like picture me driving around not far from home in my like cherry red, apple red, whatever shade of red it is, like bright red, little Toyota Corolla, late 90s, listening to these songs. So it's Crystal Waters' She's Homeless. I think it might be called Gypsy Woman, She's Homeless, but it's amazing. And I'll link all these things below because like the music videos are also amazing. And this is a song that my boyfriend had played for us when we were all like sitting around doing the music video thing. So fun. The other ones are 311 Down and Jane Says by Jane's Addiction. But the I Alone is the number one, and it's going to remain that for some time, I think. Anyway, I don't know, I was gonna make a whole video of like of like my top 5 songs, but I just told you it. I gave up the answer. I just got too excited. I couldn't wait. Okay, so the other last but not least, my other faves this summer, I guess we sort of started at late summer, but it's really gotten me through that late summer thing, is the Herbcrafters Tarot study with Tamara at Nightshade Tarot. We're still doing it. It's so fun. Everyone's sort of chilled out a bit. But it's been really interesting, especially since like everyone lives all over the world, and so we're getting like everyone's personal experience or lack of, or like cultural significance, and like getting to see where different plants grow and where they don't, how things are similar and different. It's been so fun, and I love this deck. I didn't have it. I got it for the study, and I ended up getting it for a friend of mine as well, because I knew that they would love it. And they do. It's yeah, so like the deck, the study, everyone in that group, so fun. And then also from that group, someone started a tarot study group on Discord, and that's also been really fun. Met some people that are amazing, super cool, and I don't know, it's just, I'm also really enjoying that. And these are things that continue on past summer. And then my other thing is I'm in a tree class, and it's a year-long class. So once a month we meet on Zoom, and the teacher shares all this information, a lot of like botany, folklore, and magical, uses. And also like tons of resources, which is very cool. I've been able to get some, oh my gosh, it's in the other room, but so I'll maybe make a video on like plant books that I have that are my favorite. But yeah, this is my little, I purposely kept them small so that if I was ever wanting to like go out and meet like Willow, the tree, not the Buffy character, I could just take this little book with me very easily. And this one's pine. So it's like there's medicinal uses, recipes too. It's been really great. And so she sends sometimes I've missed a few of them, but they were like synced with my cycle for a bit, and so I'd be like, I can't do it, which is funny. But we get the recording, and I usually watch them a few times through. And I guess I also want to mention this bell. It was really weird. My best friend came to visit from Washington State, which is another favorite thing. Like, I hadn't seen them since December 2019, maybe. Yeah. Because of the pandemic and stuff like that. So they came to visit, and we went to the beach, which was amazing. It was the first time, not the first time I'd been to the beach here, but it was the first time I went to the water. And the water's so clear. I'll insert pictures perhaps. And yeah, it was amazing. I just like, I made an Instagram post about it. But they gave me this bell, and it has a string, as you can see. And the string can be changed, but it was so weird because literally like the day before or days before, for a few days, I had been thinking about wanting a bell with a string. And I have some bells. For some reason I didn't think I had any bells, but I was thinking about a bell with a string. And then they like gave me some gifts, and this was one of them. And I was freaking out. I was like, how did you know? But yeah, I love bells, and I love this bell so much. But I think that's it. I've been sort of, like, late summer's hard. It gets really hot. It's like the end of winter, you're just like, please God, let me see the sun. Please let me not be cold anymore. And at the end of summer, it's like, oh my God, I just want to be cold again. It reminds me of this poem that Tara Brach always says at the end of some of her guided meditations. And it's like, when your mind is not focused on unnecessary things, this is the best season of your life, or something like that. I don't know the poem. I'll maybe like link it below or copy it below. But I always, when I think about hating like the weather or being over it or something, I always think about that poem, and a part of me like rolls my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, like stop. Like, anyway, those were some of my favorite things this summer. I'll just like lay a few of them here so you can see again. A little refresher. No one needs that. Okay, well, thanks for listening. It's so fun to talk about. I'm sure there's things I forgot. I'll just have to make more of them to share the things that I'm absolutely geeked out on. I literally just made this video because I wanted to talk about I Alone. Like, literally. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.